Hey guys, Level Cap here, and today in gaming, DICE responds to the impatient Battlefield community. Some exciting tactical shooters are launching soon, World War III Alpha is going live this week, and much more. DICE producer Ben Walk replied to a Battlefield 2042 Reddit thread about the lack of official communication and trailers leading to the game's launch. The community is currently frustrated by the lack of new gameplay footage or beta date info. Many believe the lack of communication following the game's delay is a bad sign, and that concern is entirely valid, but it doesn't necessarily mean that 2042 is in trouble. Much of the community's frustration is being taken out on DICE's global community manager, Adam Freeman. He tweeted shortly after the delay was announced that he'd have further info the following week. And that week came and went with no new information. And before we get to the rest of this story, I have a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Warhammer 40k Lost Crusade. It's a mobile MMO strategy game available on Android and iOS for free, and let's be honest, the brutal universe of Warhammer is awesome. I've been a fan of it for a long time, and the franchise gives you so many avenues to enjoy this rich legacy, whether you're painting miniatures, playing the board game, reading the extensive library of books, or playing the video games. And being able to play Warhammer 40k Lost Crusade on the go is fantastic, especially when it's an officially licensed game with voice acting and faithful recreations of the franchise's storyline and combat. Now, the latest update for Lost Crusade added 4 new Space Marine chapters. You have the ever-popular Ultramarines, Raven Guard, Imperial Fist, White Scars, and they all look super badass. And the chapter you pick gives you an exclusive frame that you can upgrade by completing daily challenges. Now, what's the gameplay like, you might be asking? Well, it's Warhammer. You get to use giant guns and sweet melee moves to bust through enemy defenses and destroy a chaos rift. And even if you're not intimately familiar with the Warhammer universe, well, Lost Crusade still offers a robust RTS and real-time PvE combat experience with tons of replayability. Plus, and this means a lot to me, especially in the mobile gaming world, you don't have to sacrifice your social life to learn a lifetime's worth of advanced mechanics. So what are you guys waiting for? The game is free to play, and you can earn your salvation today by downloading the game using my link in the description. Pick a chapter and start purging those heretics. And make sure to use my gift code in the video description to get in-game rewards worth $10. Once again, thanks to Warhammer 40k Lost Crusade for sponsoring this video. Alright, now Ben's post also asked players to bear in mind community managers are just the messengers. Game development, especially in its current conditions, is a messy business. Community managers can be given info that's valid 1 minute and then totally incorrect the next. Of course, when it comes to DICE, they have a track record of flip-flopping. Battlefield 5 notably had tons of promised content and features that were ultimately cut or poorly communicated. And compared to certainly some other developers, DICE isn't a very transparent studio, and this leads to a lot of confusion and frustration. Typically, DICE releases tons of gameplay footage before a Battlefield title hits store shelves. It could be that DICE are making big changes to their marketing strategy following a delay that seems to have taken much of the studio by surprise. A few developers have said that the delay gives them extra time to polish the game. And hopefully this is more of the truth. Extra time to polish the game versus extra time to try and get the game functional before launch. It sounds like DICE asked EA for more time and EA obliged. But we're curious to hear what you guys think. Are you worried that DICE are staying silent because the game isn't in a good state? Or do you think they're just being cautious to avoid misrepresenting the final product? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. A list of October's PlayStation Plus free games has leaked. It's unclear if this list is accurate or not, but it has an exciting title that you guys might find relevant. The World War II tactical FPS Hell Let Loose. The game is launching for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles on October 5th. It's unclear if it'll be free to play on PlayStation Plus at launch or if Sony will add it later in the month, but it seems likely that it's launching free for subscribers. Other games on the list include Mortal Kombat 10 and PGA Tour 2K21. Modern military tactical FPS Insurgency Sandstorm is also launching on consoles soon. It releases on the 29th. Beta testing for the game has gone quite well, and overall the devs have pretty successfully ported the PC experience to consoles. It's launching as a last-gen title. That said, if you're looking for the ideal console experience, you're going to want to play it on a next-gen device. On PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, the game is capped at 1080p 30fps. On the Pro models of the last-gen consoles, you'll get a 4K 30fps experience, but on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, you get 4K 60fps with their boost modes. On the Xbox Series S, you get 60fps but only at 1080p. Given the game's pace, 30fps isn't as bad as it sounds, but I think many PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X players would have traded 4K for 60fps. Preloading for the World War III Veteran Alpha test goes live on the 29th. Players that initially bought the game on Steam will get automatic access to the alpha. It launches on the 30th and runs until October 4th. The alpha is a preview of the game's major overhaul update coming later this year. It promises tons of new content and meaningful improvements to the core gameplay. One might call the delay of Battlefield 2042 divine intervention for World War III. It was due to be overshadowed by 2042's beta and launch, but World War III now has some breathing room to grab some headlines. We'll be checking it out, so stay tuned for that. A standalone Last of Us multiplayer title is in development at Naughty Dog. The devs confirmed that they're working on it in a blog post published yesterday to commemorate the in-game Outbreak Day event. The post was light on details, and it sounds like the studio is still in the early phases of development. It says they're hiring multiple devs to work on the title, so don't expect any big reveals this year. According to leaked info, Intel's next line of CPUs, Alder Lake, launches on November 4th. Hardware company MSI announced a promotion for AIO water coolers built into the new CPUs. That promo starts on November 4th, and industry reports have verified that date with their sources. Benchmarks of Intel's new i9-12900K show a significant performance leap over AMD's 5950X, which is the current top-end gaming CPU. Pre-orders of Intel's new CPUs will go live on October 27th. Unlike many hardware companies, Intel has managed to keep pace with the demand for their products through most of the pandemic. AMD will likely leapfrog Intel's new CPUs in a matter of months, but the chances of scoring yourself a new Ryzen CPU are pretty dismal compared to Intel. The Alan Wake remaster is shaping up to be a pretty significant leap in quality over the original game. A new side-by-side comparison trailer showcasing the improvements was released recently, and the result is incredible. It's not exactly on par with cutting-edge AAA titles, but the remaster still looks fantastic. The big draw of the remaster is that it's finally bringing Alan Wake to modern consoles. It initially launched as an Xbox 360 exclusive and has been stuck on that generation ever since. And while it's available via the current gen Xbox's backward compatibility mode, it's still a subpar experience, especially compared to the game's PC port. The remaster goes above and beyond what the PC version offers, so it looks like no matter what platform you own the game on, it'll be a worthwhile upgrade. Before we get to our final story today, I just wanted to say thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check out today's sponsor, Warhammer Lost Crusade. Use my gift code in the description to grab your rewards. Overwatch 2 is shaping up to be a pretty substantial overhaul. New videos detailing major reworks of existing heroes were released this weekend. Sombra and Bastion are both radically different in the hero shooter sequel. Sombra's hack ability will reveal enemies to her teammates without giving away her location. Bastion has been totally reworked from the ground up. His ultimate will be a 3-point artillery strike players can call in anywhere on the map before its cooldown runs out. His weapon works more like a scout sniper rifle with a reduced fire rate and more damage being dealt per shot. His self-repair is gone, but he's more mobile. And his sentry mode actually lets you move around. The last big change is Bastion gets a tactical grenade that bounces off walls and sticks to enemies. Blizzard have not announced when Overwatch 2 officially launches, but it seems like the pandemic delayed it into 2023. An early build of the game will be available in April as part of the 2022 Overwatch League season. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.